Hi everyone, good evening. Yeah, slightly earlier. Okay, now I think a few minutes early, right? Just to warm up and see everyone is here and so that you can hear us, okay, properly before I actually, in a way, share with you a replay from the previous year on a step-by-step guide on how to actually set up the Feng Shui saltwater cure, okay, for 2025, all right? So before I continue on, just want to make sure if there's anyone tuning in right now, I know we're slightly early, few minutes early, okay, do let me know if you're tuning in right now, okay, type something onto the comment, right, so that I can see you, right? Let me know that you can hear me as well and you can see the screen clearly. All right, so today's topic is about the Feng Shui remedy, one of a very powerful Feng Shui remedy, saltwater cure for 2025. Now, what we're going to do for tonight is, the first part, okay, of this session itself, there will be a replay of previous year's setting up. It means in the replay itself, please ask away your questions, okay? Kong Yu, Anne, Nicole, and myself here will be behind the screen, all right, to help to, in a way, answer to your question while you listen to the replay to understand how saltwater cure, in a way, works, okay? And also how to set it up correctly. All right, so on the first part, it will be a replay, and after that, towards the end of the session, I will be back to share with you the dates for this year, all right, and how to actually, in a way, place and where exactly for you to place the saltwater cure for 2025. Poching, okay, hi, you're there. All right, hi, Poching, Jenny, okay, Ite Meka Ukor. All right, okay, all good, audio and video. Thank you so much, okay, to all of you. Right, again, for those of you who have just joined us now, please help us to share this session out so that it can reach more people. Right, as I mentioned, those of you who have just joined us, right, tonight's session itself, we are going to divide it into two different parts, okay? So later, I'm going to actually play a recorded replay session for previous year's saltwater cure. It means that in the replay, I'm going to guide you what exactly is saltwater cure, how does it work, okay, what is the logic behind it, how to set it up correctly, because every year I can still see there are some students or some followers in a way make some minor mistakes here and there when they're setting up their saltwater cure. Okay, so if you can set it up correctly, of course you will have a better result, right? The better reactions, the better purifications, okay, for your house as well. So therefore, we will give you the replay on the first part, and on the second part, I will be out again, all right, to guide you where exactly to place the saltwater cure for this year and how to actually, in a way, take that measurement and at the same time sharing with you the auspicious dates to set up the saltwater cure for this year itself. All right, so, okay, without delaying times, can I just see anyone else there with questions? Because, like I said, Jessie Lee is there, okay. John Vega, okay. Joe Eng, thank you for tuning in. All right, so I'm going to excuse myself, okay, for a moment now. But before I do that, please, those of you who are, just join us, okay, please help us to share this session out so that it can reach out to more people, okay. Your help, okay, as an energy exchange to this sponsored live post itself really, really means a lot to us because it helps us to reach out to more people, all right. So those of you, John Vega, Shirley Chow, Adriano, okay, right, please do help us to share this session out so that it can reach out to more people. As I excuse myself and we will put on the replay, if you have any questions, please continue to type it in the comment because the team and myself will be behind the scene answering your questions. All right, so then, okay, let us just bring back, right, the saltwater cure, exactly how it works and how to set it up correctly as a replay from the previous years. I'll see you all later. Stay tuned. Tonight's session will be saltwater cure. I know many of you has been asking about this topic. In fact, I see a lot of your questions. I see them, but a lot of those questions itself, I just ignore them, okay? All right, because I know if I answer one, okay, it will keep coming back again and again and again. So I really hope that tonight, okay, those of you who always have these questions, okay, relating to saltwater cure, if you are unsure, okay, if you are new into Feng Shui remedy, right, you want to know as in like, what is this saltwater cure all about, okay, how does it even work, okay, or why do I have to deploy this? Because different teachers, okay, or different practitioners, they will have different recommendations, okay, mainly for the 5 yellow and also the 2 black stars, okay. So why should I even, in a way, use a saltwater cure. So tonight is the night, okay, or the session where I'm supposed to share with you, in my opinion, okay, why do I choose a saltwater cure, okay, to do a remedy for the 5 yellow or the 2 black star instead of other remedies. Okay, doesn't mean that other remedies are not working, but I'm just comparing with you the fact, as in, like, based on my research and based on my findings, and also based on my so many years of deploying this particular saltwater cure, it's not the easiest way to deploy it because it needs work, okay? It needs effort, it needs work, okay? But if you are up to it, if you are up to put in the effort and do whatever it takes in order to make your life better, this will be, I will say that this will be the best cure for you, okay? But let's say if you want something simplicity, you want something simple, you just want, like, oh my god, like, so much work to do, okay? Can't you just, in a way, like, give me something is like easier, okay? Like just buy something and just chuck it there and put it there on a good date and that's it, okay? I mean, then probably other remedies might work for you. Because tonight I want to take this opportunity, okay, and to explain to you what saltwater cure is really all about. I saw some of your questions, some of your concern, okay? Thank you for being here. I know probably some of you are very new, okay, to follow my Feng Shui remedy. You just want to understand more about this saltwater cure. What exactly it is, okay? Why do I have to deploy it? How does it work? So tonight will be the session for me to answer those questions, okay? Hopefully, I can finish everything in 1 hour's time, all right? If not, I will just extend it. As long as you're here, you've got questions, ask away, all right? I will ensure that I will answer your questions. So, right, thank you, okay, for liking and sharing this out. Okay, so tonight, saltwater cure. I really hope that you can, in a way, share this out on Facebook so that hopefully after this, it's like no one will come again and ask me exactly the same thing that I have shared. All right. Hi, Jen Ho. Good evening. So now, saltwater cure. Many of you probably have heard it, okay, about saltwater cure from me. I've been sharing this for quite a number of years, okay, right? But again, okay, probably it's like some of the years I have not really shared into so detailed, okay, as in, like, every year I will try to, in a way, research because I'm growing. I'm also, in a way, learning at the same time. So every year I want to, in a way, find more information, okay, and deeper research, okay, to support the remedies that I deploy out in my, in a way, Feng Shui remedy. So tonight I'm going to talk about one of the very important remedy that I encourage, okay, everyone to at least, okay, in a way, install this particular remedy at home. Okay, it is not that expensive. Okay, it requires work, effort, yes, but it's not expensive. Okay, in fact, you know, a lot of Feng Shui remedy out there, it is not cheap. Let's put it that way. Okay, so what is saltwater cure? Now, generally, saltwater cure, okay, is a cure that I will suggest people, okay, to set this particular salt water, in a way, like remedy out on your 5 yellow location and also your 2 black star location, okay? But the most important is the 5 yellow. 2 black star is often, in a way, I will say that it is optional, unless on specific year that I find that, okay, like 2 black or illness star itself is something that is like important. Now, if you look back, I forgot that there was one particular year. I mean, can you just check for me? Is that, or you remember, any of you remember there was one year I asked everyone to deploy 2. I wonder what year was that? Is it 2020? All right, at least a few years ago, right? I requested people to at least put 2 saltwater cure instead of 1. All right, so you have to check back. I've forgotten which year was that. So mainly, most of the years, I only asked for 1. Okay, and then this year also in 2024, all you need is just 1 saltwater cure. But in case some of you, okay, later I will say, like, exceptional to maybe some of you are more concerned about health and all that, you can deploy 2 saltwater cure. Okay, so first of all, okay, yeah, Limai Ling, can I put heavy weight metal instead of saltwater at 5 yellow? Okay, thank you for that question. I know a lot of people, in fact, has been asking me. I know there are some teachers out there, okay, with due respect, that in a way ask, okay, you to put heavy metal plates and all that. I'm not saying that it will not work, but tonight, that's exactly, okay, what I want to, in a way, share with you, to compare these 2 particular remedy itself, okay? I know, like, people like Leanne and all, okay, I think it's Susim as well, okay, right? Some of my students, they put a saltwater cure and they put the heavy metal weight together with the saltwater cure. That's the best. I would say that's the cleverest choice, okay, right, to make. I mean, best of both worlds. Why not? I mean, why want to debate which is better and which is, like, in a way? I would say that heavy metal weight, metal is just easier, okay? But for me personally, I feel that a saltwater cure will be much more, I would say, significant. That's my opinion. But I'm not saying that metal plate are not working. Okay, so tonight I'm going to share with you why. Edward, you put both. Clever. All right. So now, first of all, saltwater cure. Okay, of course, based on the name itself, saltwater cure is made out of salt and water. Okay, so why do we need to even like do this? Okay, why salt? Why water? And it's supposed to help us to, in a way, mitigate, okay, or neutralize the 5 yellow aggressive energy or the 2 black star aggressive energy. Let's say, for instance, now every stars, if you are a student of mine, you know that every Feng Shui flying stars has its, I would say, positive and negative attributes, okay? Has its good at its best or at its worst, okay? At the negative part, it will exhibit certain lessons. There's no good or bad. It's just that whether this stars is good or bad, it depends on how ready we are. If we are not ready, every stars is bad. Okay, if we are ready with breakthroughs, okay, we have lessened our fear, we have made a lot of breakthroughs, we heighten ourselves energetically with a lot of skill sets and talents or whatsoever, right? Okay, all this starts itself is supposed to give us an opportunity to polish all these talents and lessons even better. That's all. Right, but for people who are not ready, so whenever the 5 yellow or the 2 black stars comes about in our home, okay, it will in a way trigger certain lessons for us. So for us, let's say for instance, okay, I just want to pacify it, right? Imagine your 5 yellow is the fiercest star out of all the 9 flying stars. Imagine this is like the king of the jungle, the lion. Every year, the lion resides in a different corner of your house. You just want to appease it, okay? You don't want to trigger it. You don't want it to get too aggressive that it will bite some of the people in your household. So what you do is you will try to, in a way, put some remedy, hopefully that it makes peace or neutralize, okay, this particular lion or the most aggressive stars itself, okay, so that everything is more peaceful, let's put it that way. All right, so therefore, we want to set up this saltwater cure. So the purpose of it is actually to neutralize, okay, to help us to, in a way, okay, appease the energy of these certain sectors itself, so that eventually the chi or the lessons that needs to come to us, it doesn't come into that aggressive, okay, so that we can slowly understand the lesson, slowly learn the lesson one step at a time. It doesn't come like everything together. So remember, at the end of the day, if you go into a spiritual path, or in other words, okay, the energy path, Feng Shui is about energy. I Ching is about energy. Everything that you talk about, astrology or astronomy, is all about energy, okay? So when it comes to energy, you know that life and death, birth and death, okay, it's all part of energy. In Chinese, we call it 生老病死, okay, right? Ever since birth, okay, and then in a way, getting old, all right, getting sick and dying is a part of process. It's a part of the cycle, okay, of life itself. It is something that is inevitable, okay? We cannot, in a way, I would say that miss it. Everyone needs to die eventually, okay? So at the end of the day, it's like 5 yellow itself is just that, in a way, it teaches the lessons of life, the lessons or the law of the universe, okay? So when it appears in a certain corners of our house itself, okay, sometimes too aggressively, the people are not ready, okay? The people are not ready of like even learn the simple lesson of letting go. Then, all right, but people, in order to learn about letting go, so at the end of the day, you do your spring cleaning. You're supposed to clear your house, and then you see, all right, all those things that you have bought over the years. Oh, this one, I think keep lah. Oh, this one, oh, keep lah. Oh, these clothes, I hardly even wear, even though you can't wear, but keep lah. Everything keep, you see, you can't even let go. So how are you going to learn this lesson of letting go? So when the 5 yellow or the 2 black stars comes in, or these aggressive stars, it is supposed to, in a way, expedite that lesson, teach us that lesson. But for people who are not ready, right, okay, when these things comes in, if we do not neutralize it, we do not appease it, we do not keep control or manage it, right, suddenly the lessons can come in a sense of like, in a way, you can, in a way, lose your job. You can, in a way, probably have someone die, your loved ones, or sickness or whatever, or you lost something that's truly valuable to you. All this is supposed to teach you the lesson of letting go, because eventually it's going to happen, all right, in life itself, all right? It's part and parcel of the law of the universe. It's a law of the book of changes. This is part of the law. So the thing is, when the 5 yellow comes in, it's supposed to expedite that lesson, but we are not ready. So therefore, people causes bad luck. okay? Everything comes in a way concurrently. Very bad that particular year itself. Soya, they call it, okay? So therefore, we want to appease the 5 yellow. It's not to say that we are not learning the lesson, okay? But yes, we want to learn it, but we want to slowly learn it. Don't come all together, please, okay? So I gently, in a way, appease you, put something there to neutralize you, give me to learn my lesson one step at a time, okay? So that it doesn't come overwhelmingly. You lose your job, you lose your loved ones, okay? Like you lose your valuable, your house got burned down or whatsoever. Everything comes together, okay? It might be a bit taxing for us. So that's the purpose. We want to set up a cure for this aggressive stars. So all this part, I hope you understand. All right. Then the next thing is, why saltwater cure? Like someone, Lima Ailing just now have said, okay, we can put metal plate, we can put probably some trinkets. People sometimes put the Feng Ling, you know, the wind chime and other things. All these things in a way can be placed easily. I just buy and put it there, okay, on a good date. It's so much easier. I know, right? Okay, everyone wants convenient, everyone wants things easier. But based on what my understanding of it is, I just buy some dumbbell, my kids can use it for exercising or build up their muscles or whatever, and I put it at 5 yellow extra ones, okay? It's not expensive, it's easy, chuck it there and everything will be fine. But to me, it's like, what is the logic behind the dumbbell? Yes, you say that this metal plate, because it's made of metal, and it's supposed to be like earth produce metal. 5 yellow is earth, produce the metal. The more metal you put there, okay, the weaker the earth is going to be. That's why you, in a way, appease your 5 yellow. It's not wrong, right? But imagine your house. Now, I look at my big metallic fan, okay, right, which is on the floor. The whole fan itself, okay, and then this 2 TV stand that I have right in front of me, together with this 2 lamp stand, okay, and my stand for my camera in front here, all this add on together, chances is it would be definitely heavier than that particular metal plate that you put there. Then it's like, what's the point of that metal plate? Okay, isn't that, it's like my house in a way, how many, like in a way, concrete ceilings, okay, how many, they say the pilings and everything, you know that behind all the walls itself, it is filled with metal, okay? So if this is like your whole house is protected because all these metal bars, okay, that is inside your concrete like walls and all these things, right, okay, right, all these things, especially your condo, your staircase, everything, right, they have these metal bars inside them, you know. If that's the case, it's like everything got metal chi, okay? That's why nowadays, if you go into our house, right, in a modern built house, it's not built of wood, you know. Mainly internally, there's layer and layer of metal bars. So that's why you go into an empty house, right, okay? When you speak, right, you can hear the intensity, okay, of that metal echo. It's not even an echo, it's a metallic echo, you know, inside a new house. So if that's the case, the house is protected, why are we afraid of 5 yellow anymore or 2 black star, okay? So now the thing is that, then Jessie, why do you use saltwater cure? Then a lot of people say that saltwater cure is crystal, okay? Isn't that earth? You put one big pile of earth there, isn't that in a way going to like further, in a way, enhance the earth itself? Now, that is a purpose that how or why, okay, this particular Facebook Live needs to come to life, okay? Now, first of all, we need to understand that salt, okay, is we call it like sodium or natrium. It's the same thing. You know, like sometimes science, that's why I like, you know, sometimes science is so confusing, right? Okay, right? So sodium and natrium, okay, or natrium chloride is actually sodium, okay? So in a way that is just the word, okay, in the scientific word itself, it is put Na there as natrium. But sodium, you search about it, sodium or natrium is the same thing. And salt is actually a sodium chloride, or you can call it a natrium chloride. And now, if you look at it, okay, sodium chloride or natrium chloride itself, right, okay, almost half of the content of the salt itself is made of sodium. And sodium, if you search about it, it is metal, you know, okay? So you see that all the salts that we have, the particle in the salt itself, okay, right, I think if I'm not mistaken, was it like 40%, okay, at least 40% of it, okay, it is of sodium. And this sodium is actually a high alkaline metal. Okay, it's a high alkaline metal. Okay, so like in a way, salt water and other things, right? Okay, it's supposed, without the reactions, right? Okay, it's supposed to be alkaline. Okay, so you see that, okay, this particular sodium is also a highly reactive metal. Highly reactive, right? It has high reactions, okay, with external sort of like environment. If you put a pure sodium, not salt, a pure sodium onto water itself, right? It can be explosive one. okay, a pure sodium. It has that, in a way, like your sodium bicarbonate, like your, how to say, it's like your baking powder and all these things. It can be explosive one, in a way that you put it in, it can bubbles and it can vomit, okay, all these things. It has a chemical reaction to it, all right? So therefore, firstly, you have to understand, salt, even though overall it feels like it's crystals, that is like you automatically place it under earth, but sodium chloride, okay, is actually, in a way, sodium are made of metal. And you know that in salt itself, okay, almost 40%, correct me if I'm wrong, okay, someone just Google this, okay, and in a way probably share it in a link, okay, Wikipedia that talks about sodium. All right, so sodium itself, in a way, is a highly reactive metal, alkaline group, and you know alkaline, everyone is talking about alkaline right now, right? Okay, you want to drink alkaline water, right? You want things to be alkaline. You want your body to be more alkaline than acidic, okay, in order for you to have a better health, okay? So here, okay, in terms of like the sodium, this is part of it. And now the thing is like, in a way, okay, then salt itself, then why do I need to add water? Why do I need to add the coins into it? Yes, the coins are symbolically later. I will show you exactly how to build your saltwater cure. But firstly, you need to understand, when I put a lot of salt, and I place water and metal into it, like your coins into it, it triggers a reaction, okay? Right, it triggers a reaction. That's why at the end of the day, you will see that those of you who practiced saltwater cure before, okay, you will see that by the end of the year, right, your saltwater cure will have a lot of reactions going on, that as if that your salt, okay, have grown and cover your whole entire vase one, okay? Right, now you will say that this is reactions. Chemical reactions means that the salt the salt got dissolved in the water, it get evaporized, okay, and then in a way it has a reactions happening to the air particle in that surrounding metals, okay, surrounding area, and the ions of that salt water itself, in a way, connects with all the negative ions particles in the air, okay, and make or transform itself into salt particles again. It means that when this is keep on doing, it automatically serves almost like a purifier. You know, when the water itself, when the high, the high condensity, okay, of salt, okay, water, and you put in the coins is actually as a catalyst of expedite this rusting process. Because once you have metal inside the saltwater cure, okay, it creates like the saltwater cure now becomes like hydrochloric acid. You have a bit of acidic element into it that builds to corrode this particular metal element. And when that thing happens itself, right, okay, it's highly reactive, okay, the elements inside this particular, I would say, concoction, right, becomes like highly reactive, okay, and therefore you have a lot of like release of like, in a way, like positive ions and negative ions, okay, onto the surrounding, okay, just like your waterfall, around your waterfall area, or you go to the seaside area and all that, okay. So when this particular movement is happening, when all these particles of the ions particles are reacting with the air in that area, okay, it will get connected again, and it will in a way condense back again to become salt, okay. And when this happens itself, right, you will see that's why the salt almost like it crawl out from your vase. It crawls out and it condenses by the side of your vase. Sometimes it goes on the floor, and it will, if you allow your salt to be near your wall and all these things, or near any cabinets, right, it might crawl or creep onto your cabinet. It just tells you that a reaction sort of like process is happening. And this reaction process itself is what we call a neutralizing process. Just like air purifier, your ionizer, okay, right, your Himalayan salt lamp and all that, it's supposed to purify the airs for you, okay. So now, if you don't understand it, okay, you see, in Feng Shui, we do not want to do controlling factor. We don't want to, like, in a way, oh, if earth is the element here that I want to manage, why not I just use wood, like counter it or control it, then I clash it, then no problem. Now in Feng Shui, we want harmonizing. So we do not use a controlling factor, okay? So we use a neutralizing factor. And this neutralizing factor, okay, one of the example that I can show you now is like your headphone. Nowadays, everyone use headphone, right? Okay? So if you look at this, okay, right, the process of how noise cancellation work, okay, with a certain headphone, with a noise cancellation sort of like, in a way, works on the noise cancellation sort of like technology, let's put it that way. You see, headphones have two types, right? The traditional type is that you muffle, okay, it's like it's so tight that it's in a way you muffle the whole ear itself that you cannot hear the noise outside, okay, that's one of the way. And another modernized way is they use the noise cancellation technique. And this voice cancellation technique itself, okay, it means that, now you see, the outside wave is the blue color one. Okay, we play it one more time, as you can see here. Now, the blue color is the outside noise, or you get the 5 yellow, 2 black star, whatever energy is on the outside, okay, right, coming in, that creates that noise. So the microphone, what it does now is it generates a waves, okay, out of this. So from here is that wave is the reaction of your saltwater cure, okay. It's a purifying sort of like, in a way, chemical reaction, let's put it, a purifying chemical reactions that is mainly used, okay, or mainly consists of sodium, which is a high reaction alkaline metal. Search about this. This is also, I think, it's like what? The 6th most abundant metal on Earth itself, okay. So when we use that sodium sort of solution, okay, in terms of like the saltwater cure itself, the solutions of the sodium has a high intensity of sodium, which is also of metallic sort of like metallic sort of like energy, okay. And we put in that metal coins is to expedite, okay, that process, okay, of like, how to say, evaporations or process of reactiveness. And that it comes in, you can replay this and you can see that it comes in as the red wave. It means that this microphone now becomes your saltwater cure. And it admits, okay, that red wave now that comes out from the microphone, okay, that in a way neutralize, it balance up the outside wave. When the two waves combine, okay, it neutralizes it. That's why once you use this technique, you cannot hear the outside sound anymore because it's not controlling it, it's not clashing it, it neutralizes it. All right, so this is the same, I would say, theory that how the saltwater cure is supposed to work. It neutralizes the external negative aggressive elements of the 5 yellow chi that we can't see, okay, that resides in certain corners of our house, okay, that we use the saltwater cure itself, okay, in a way to neutralize this particular aggressive chi, okay. Make it peaceful, okay, make it peaceful so that it will not harm us anymore, okay. And then you see that, okay, let's say if you say that, oh really, does it work? How do you know it really neutralizes it? Now, even though if you say that, okay, it's not neutralizing it, when you have a big pile of salt that have this salt water, then keep on chemically in a way having reactions, definitely there's reaction, or else you won't see that it grows out from your vase, right? And this reaction itself, look into histories of salt, okay, search about histories of salt. It is so important, like this word salt itself, okay, that in our modern days itself, right, okay, how is it stuck? Is everything okay? All right. So in our modern world itself, right, even our word, we work so hard for what? We work so hard in our life. For what purpose? We work so hard for what? Salary, right? Right, all of us work so hard for the money, right? And this money comes in the form of salary. Now, if you look into the origin words of salary, okay, itself, okay, it comes from the Latin word of salt, S-A-L, okay? And that means salt. Because in the olden days, salt is so highly precious thing, you know? Right, the soldiers and all these things, they work, or in a way, they give their life, okay, in order to exchange, okay, salt. Because salt is like the fundamental, one of the most important thing in life itself, okay? And you know, in ancient China, in ancient Egyptian and all that, mummifications, you know, salt is highly sought after because it has a high, I would say, purifying sort of like energy, okay? That's why in Taoism, right, okay, for Chinese Taoism, the origins of like how people who practices Feng Shui and all these things, right, one of the rituals that the Taoists do is they will sprinkle salt into the corners of your house as a process of purification and cleansing. Like those of you, I'm not sure if you have heard about this before. Those of you, if you've heard, you know, they actually in a way sprinkle like cha, mai, yim. Okay, so they have salt, they have like in a way tea leaves and also some rice, okay, and they will sprinkle to every corner of your house as a ritual of cleansing. When they do exorcism and any rituals of exorcism, they will also sprinkle salt and rice itself, okay, as a process of exorcism. And ancient Egypt itself, you know that part of mummifications, they use these things that is called what? I forgot the name. I think it's like called what? Natron or something. Okay, you check about it. Natron or nephron, can someone check for me? Is it natron or something? Okay, it's actually another word of this natural salt, okay. that they use salt to dehydrate, okay, the body. Dehydrates the body in a way to extract all bacteria causing moisture from the body itself, so that once there's this natron, okay, natron is this kind of salt, okay, that it extracts all the moisture from the body, and this moisture in a way contains the spread or the spread of bacteria. So they use salt to extract this, okay, so that the body now can be in a way mummified and maintained, okay, right? It's, I would say, physical body for thousands of years. Those of you who've been to Egypt with me, you know, right? And then that's the Chinese do what? Ham yu, right? The salted fish. So this process is using salt itself in a way, okay, to purify, to in a way like purify all, I would say, people say all this dyeing process. Dyeing process means like if your body, it will like, how to say, 晦氣, 晦氣 means all this negative chi that eats up your body, that it will decay. But with salt there, okay, it will prevent this process. The body will not decay. And salt can do that, okay, right? It has that material. So if you look at even Japan itself, right, if you go to Japan, okay, because it's like we have a plan going to Japan this year, and you know Japan is famous for like sumo wrestlers, right, okay? So if you look at sumo wrestlers and all that, before they get into the ring for every fight, okay, or during every interval, okay, or rest, they get back into the ring, right, they will sprinkle a handful of salt, okay, in the ring itself, okay, as a form of purification. And that is the history of salt, because salt tells us that it's a high use element over ancient times, even up to now, as a form of purifications, cleansing, okay, of energy, right? So therefore, it's like in a way, okay, so you know that, like say, like the word like celery comes from salt. The words, if I'm not mistaken, even salvations, okay, come from salt, okay, like salvations in Christianity and all these things itself, it comes from the Latin root word of sol, which is salt itself. So now we understand that, first of all, the importance of salt, all right? So we have to understand that. And you know that when we set up the saltwater cure, this is how it's going to work. And if you do more research, right, sodium itself, or salt, just like not even pure sodium, okay, pure sodium itself, it will explode in water and will give a yellow flame. Even salt, you Google, table salt, when it is burned, it gives out what color flame? It gives out yellow color flame, all right? So I mean, this one, yes, you can say in terms of like sign, 取像, images, imagery. So when you burn salt itself, right, it transforms, the fire transforms, it burns the yellow flame, which is the, again, used to appease, okay, the 5 yellow. That's why you see like natrium chloride, okay, or in a way table salt or whatever, right? You search when table salt is burned, what flame it actually in a way gives out. Because every flame with different metal element, it gives different colors one. Last time, you know, like chemistry in the lab, chemistry lab, you do all this sort of like experiment, right? And sodium burns into yellow flame. Right, so now you understand, okay, why salt, okay, why salt in a way, also the relationship or the reactions with salt and water, okay, right, when you put it there, okay, it pulls away natrium and chloride, pulls it away so that it can evaporate and in a way forms, okay, have another reactions with all the, I would say, the oxygens or whatever that's in the air itself, okay, to actually form. That's why over 1 year, the chances is this saltwater cure of yours becomes acidic. It will become very acidic because there will be a high intensity form of hydrochloric acid, okay, right? So in a way, that's why it's like your metals and everything is like, in a way, it has already been like rusty and all, some of it even green color and all that. But that's the purpose we put it in, because we want it to be a catalyst. The coins or the metal is supposed to be a catalyst to expedite this chemical reaction, so that more reactions, more purifications can happen in that corner. So I hope this part you understand. So once you understand, then the next thing is like, okay, then how to set up a saltwater cure and what do you need? This is very important. Don't play the video first, okay? First thing is you need to get the right vase, the big container. The vase needs to be correct. You know, every year, that's why I ask people to share with me your saltwater cure. And this year, I saw that as if like, there's one saltwater cure that looks like a bowl. Okay, I'm not sure, okay, because of the angle or whatever, but it really looks like the bowl that we used to eat, like the kai gong wen like that, you know. Now you see, if you want to put just a small little container of salt and it's a dry salt without water, there's no reaction is going to happen, you know, okay? This is just like a jar of salt that you put in your kitchen that you use during your cooking. So there's no reaction. So please don't do things like this. If you want to set up a Feng Shui saltwater cure, set it up correctly. So now I'm going to share with you. Firstly, you have to use the right vase. And the right vase needs to be of glass jar. Glass. Not metal, not plastic. Glass. Not porcelain. Glass. I repeat myself so that next year, Nicole is like, yes, make it very clear. So that chances is next year, I give up on doing this saltwater cure Facebook Live anymore. I can just in a way download this and upload it again so that it repeats itself. Okay, so I'm sharing with you here, okay, how to set up saltwater cure for 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027. So at least I can take a few years of break. Okay, so remember, what type of vase that you need to use? Glass, not porcelain, not plastic, not metal. How big is your vase itself depends on your house. If your house is about 1,002 square feet, okay, now my house is 2,000 over square feet, I use a relatively big jar with a big open mouth. There's no point if you use the jar this big but the mouth this small. There's no point. You see, we want that reactions to happen to have a surface level to, in a way, contact with the air as much as possible, right? So the opening of the mouth is important. If your jar is this big and your mouth is this small, it doesn't help because the contact with the air or the external environment is only this big. So it's not going to help. The bigger the mouth or the opening, the better it will be. And we want to use a round jar, not a square one. Why? This is imagery because round represents matter chi, square represents earth chi, triangle represents fire chi. Example, fire produce earth. We do not want triangle. Okay, we use a square. Square is earth, sort of like a shape. We do not want to enhance, so we use a round shape because round represents metal. Very good. I know some of you will be like, Jessie, you're talking like as if that you're a kindergarten teacher telling your students one by one. I know, okay, but trust me, right? Very soon, the questions will come all over again, right? And they will ask the same thing, all right? So this one later, right? Okay, Chetra, right? I will go through everything as precise as possible and I will answer all these questions like that Kong Yu will answer as well, and he will pick up whatever that needs to be addressed openly. He will pick up for me. So remember, jar is very important. All right. So if you use your mug like this, you use this to make a saltwater cure, please forget about it. Drink it. Seriously, one, it's not going to help. All right. So you need substantial amount. Let's say, for instance, 1,000 over square feet, at least this big, I would say. Okay, the jar itself, or tall with a mouth at least this big. Right. If you have like a few thousand square feet per level, at least the mouth needs to be at least this big. The bigger, the better. Cannot find how? Cannot find is your problem. How come other people can find and you cannot find? You see, setting Feng Shui cure is like mastering life destiny. All right? Why some people are so successful and yet we are not? Is because other people go to do whatever it takes in order for them to make things happen. But for some of us, we have this mentality of like, but cannot find. Have you searched for it or not? You see, every year I share with you, if you're in Malaysia, where to search for it. Nowadays, you have Taobao lah, you have Lazada lah, you have Shopee lah. It's everywhere. Okay? So I will share with you roughly where they sell it. Okay? So if you still cannot find, then don't do. Okay? Alright? I mean, if all this while you have not been doing it and everything is fine, then you don't have to do it. But if you have to do it, then do it with your best shot. Don't do it half-heartedly. Don't do it like halfway. It's a waste of time. Okay? So now, show the vase. Right, I'm going to excuse myself. I'll be here. Everyone. Okay, you listen to this.
I'm at Pudu Ria HQ here in Jalan Chansaulin, Jalan Empat Chansaulin. So those of you, if you're looking for the vase for your saltwater cure, now most of the time I'll get it here. Now I used to get it in IKEA, but they already run out of stock. And most of the time I go and check, they don't have the right appropriate size. But here in Pudu Ria, the people here are very friendly. Okay, all right. So here you can actually, if you want, you can actually try and get it here. Plus they have plenty of beautiful flowers. Now for this round, okay, I couldn't find the long cylinder type, okay, which normally I would use at home. But this time round, they have this round vase, which is very suitable. Now if your house is like not that big, probably it's about like 1,000 plus 2,000, it is okay for you to use the smaller vase itself. But let's say if you want to have a bigger impact or a bigger effect, right, I would suggest you to use this. Now this is selling at 206 ringgit, all right, and the slightly smaller one is selling at 156 ringgit, all right. So I'll be getting this for this year, but I want you all to remember, now try not to get those which is too small. Now, a lot of times people make mistake is, okay, when they actually get the vase which is too small, examples like this. If you can actually see the vase like this which is too small, that is not recommended. Or any which is like smaller round vase like this is not recommended. So you have to get the big one, and this is all they have, limited stock. So try to get your vase, set up your saltwater cure as soon as possible, and I will see you and share with you the dates very soon after this.
All right. Okay. Right, so now you have listened to that, okay, you know where to get the jar. I mean, normally it's like if you go to any of your cities, okay, like wholesale flower places. All right, if you go to like major, last time IKEA used to carry them, okay, but after that IKEA don't carry the big mouth vase anymore, but you can check. Right, Malaysians, you can go to SFF, okay, right, what else? SFF is the one that we go to, right? Okay, there's a few of them, okay, a few locations. IKEA have it. If not, you go to the Puduria, okay, which is in Chan Sao Lin area, okay, right? You can check about this as well. Now, I've given you where to get it. You might check it online as well, but you have to do the work, right? Remember, if we all keep on victimizing ourselves, oh, I can't do this, oh, I have no time to do this, I have no time to do that, it just tells us one thing. We do not want something in life bad enough. And success is, of course, definitely something that we want bad enough, right? I mean, if your progressions of your energy at home, okay, right? If you're, in a way, up-leveling yourself in your life, okay, or mastering your destiny is not something that you want bad enough, then, of course, you won't go all the way to do it, all right? So always remember, all these things, in the olden days, right, the teachers or the gurus will give their devotees or the students homework. The homework is, you have to do this, you have to get this. And then you will see, or she will see whether they will do their homework or not, how they will go and do whatever it takes and come back, okay, with whatever that's required. Then only they give them the next stage of informations, of educations, okay, of like things, okay, to in a way like they are ready for the next level of like wisdom, okay, and then they will give them the next nuggets. But nowadays, right, all these informations are given as what? As an exchange of energy. All right, I don't care whether you are my disciple or not, okay? As long as you pay me money, I give it to you. And in this way itself, right, what it does is it creates a lot of, in a way, spoon-fed students. Spoon-fed means that you just want to sit there theoretically to know everything, but you have no action to go and get things done. I mean, I can tell you, astrology cannot help you if you're functioning in this particular manner. As I always say, I mean, my students can be a small amount, but I want great students. I do not want just good students, because good students are mediocre. Okay, they are just in a way sitting around, taking good as a comfort zone. All right, and good is always the enemy of great. All right, so remember, I want students who will do whatever it takes, break all barriers, break through, and in a way achieve the things that they want to achieve in their life. All right, so all this homework are given to you. You want to do, you can do. You don't want to do, it is fine. Okay, but all this comes with, I would say, learning wisdom behind it. So now you understand the vase. You know you need to have big vase, not a small one. Those small ones cannot work. Don't use a small bowl. Don't use a small like beer mug or whatever. It's not going to work. All right. So you see, all the small onions, the small saltwater cure and all these things, right? It is popularized in Hong Kong. I know, I do have clients in Hong Kong. And you know Hong Kong, right, okay? Like their house itself probably is like, some of it is only 400 over 500 square feet. And then I have like clients at Hou Zhak. Hou Zhak means like, it's like considered like high-end sort of like a condo. It's only about 700 square feet. It's extremely small, you know. So imagine like so small the space and you ask them to put a saltwater cure that is this big. I mean, that's not practical. So what they do is now they modernize the thing. Modernize by how? Put a small jar like that, like your, in a way, the normal jar, your jam or whatever, peanut butter jam jar, you can make into saltwater cure. That one is only, in a way, buying hope. Okay, it's better than nothing. Your space already so small, you use this law, better than nothing law. But is it going to work in a way to me? I mean, it's not going to work that much lah. But if your house is so small, it's still better than nothing. But once your house is like 1,000 square feet and above, right, okay, all these things please do not use. Now, after you got the vase, then the next thing is you need to, in a way, know how to set up the cure. So remember, you need a vase. Secondly, you need to buy salt. The salt is, you can either buy, okay, the normal table salt, but I will advise you to buy the rock salt. You know, the coarse rock salt, the ones that in Malaysia, they used to use the bagger chicken, like yim kokai, the salt big chicken, all right? The big rocky one is so cheap, okay? One big goonie sack itself is probably last time, oh, the vase, all these are from previous years, okay, a few years ago. So the price are not the same. Everything, in a way, inflated in terms of price, okay? So you have to check out the price. And the salt itself, right, the last year we bought is like probably 20 over ringgit for one big goonie sack. It's like 40 kg or what, I've forgotten, okay? It's big, one big goonie sack, and normally it's like one big vase itself. I don't think we can finish it. We will have a bit of leftovers one, okay? So where do you buy it? You can go to NSK, okay? NSK, the wholesale one in like Kuchai or in Kota Damansara here. The Kuchai one is like almost definite you will get it, right? Big, huge bag, okay? So one big bag will be enough, all right? So if you go to all the table salt and all these things, right, you will need a lot. So just go and buy this one big goonie sack. It's like 20 over ringgit. Maximum is like what, 30 ringgit? Okay, it will be more enough. Okay, so if you have a smaller container, probably can share with someone, share with a friend or something. Okay, so you need this salt, you need the vase, and after that you also need 6 coins. Later I'll explain the coins. Now how to set. Remember, follow and listen and see how to set up so that you don't have to ask those questions anymore. All right, so now go to the video. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to actually set up the saltwater cure, okay? As you can see here, I've actually poured some salt into the vase itself, okay? But I'm not going to do the whole setup, okay? Because I'm not going to waste the salt. And I don't want to actually pour them out later on. But roughly, I'm going to give you an idea, okay, of how to really set this up. But the first, most important thing is get the correct vase. Now, I've seen numerous people who have gotten the vase which is not recommended. Remember, the first thing is it needs to be glass, okay? So, and the second thing, preferably it is transparent. Do not use plastic. Do not use any stainless steel or whatsoever. No plastic. Now, I have clients who actually use, you know, those like chiller for beers and all the things, okay? Those plastic sort of like container where you chill your beers and all that, that is not usable. It needs to be of glass, transparent, and always focus into the openings of the vase itself, okay? So normally, if you can see here, this one has a wider diameter and opening compared to this. Alright, so if you're staying in a normal apartment, condominium, about 1,000, 1,002 square feet, this particular size will be perfect, okay? It will be good enough. As you can see, the diameter is almost about like a palm length, right? But if you're staying anything about like 1,500 and above, 2,000, even 3,000 square feet per floor, okay, this is too small. Try to get a bigger one, all right? Because you see, the size of the vase needs to be in a way like, you know, substantial enough for the size of the house lah, okay? So this is something that I brought from Puduria. If I'm not mistaken, it's about like 210 or something like that, okay? Yeah, I've forgotten the actual price, okay? So you can get it there. Normally they have the cylinder type as well with a bigger opening, right? But it's just that sometimes now I go, it's like they don't have the stock. So always check it out. I used to get this from actually IKEA, but I've checked this few times itself. IKEA do not carry big vases, cylinder vases like this anymore that carries a big diameter. The small ones are not recommended. Okay, the openings needs to be big enough. Alright, and then after getting the right vase itself, right, you have to ensure that you get the salt, okay? Now, what I have here is actually the salt, which is good enough and kind enough from Chang Feng, who volunteered to get for me, okay? Chang Feng from J Group. He got for me the table salt, the fine salt, the refined one, okay? Which is from NSK. One bag like this is 5 kg and it's 380. Now, to me, it doesn't need to be so expensive, okay? So you don't have to get fine table salt. You can actually get the coarse rock salt, okay? The one that they actually use for the salt baked chicken. So it's not for consumption, but it used to bake the chicken itself, okay? The rocky one. All right, the big coarse salt itself, right? I bought before in the wet market. One whole big gunny sack, about like 40 kg, is probably about like 13
ringgit, all right? Okay, so you can check it out. It will be much more economical. So remember, it doesn't need to be so expensive, okay? Because you cannot use the salt after the whole thing anymore. So what you need to do is like once you have gotten all this ready, right? On the day and the time that I'll be sharing with you later on, make sure that you actually set up your salt water here, okay? All you need to do is like, you just ensure that you pour all this salt inside. Well, just keep pouring it until it fills up the whole entire vase itself, okay? So I'm not going to actually pour all the salt inside this vase and fill it up, okay? Because that will require a lot of salt, and at the same time, because I'm not setting it up now, so I don't want to take the trouble to actually pour it back out later on. But ensure when you pour it in, right, now you see, normally it will be very loose. You need to use something or use your palm of your hand to actually press it. So lever it down, press it so that it is compact. Because I want, okay, later on, after one packet, you press it until it's compact and then continue with another packet. Why is it so? Is because once you fill it up, and I want you to fill up at least up to the rim here, about 1 inch below the rim of the vase, about 1 inch. Okay, and make sure that it is pressed down and compact, because the reason is later on when we put the water in, right, chances of the salt, it will further sink in, all right? So if you find that it is sinking in, right, okay, you have to add more salt. Preferably once the salt is settled, it will leave about 1 inch gap, okay, to the rim of it. So the rest of here, it will be like filled up with water. It doesn't need to have a lot of water. You have to fill up until the water just covering the surface of the salt. That will be good enough, okay? And of course, during the live later on, I'll be also showing you what are the coins, okay, that you should be using and how you should be placing them, or why is it important and how does it work, okay? So I hope that, okay, you understand roughly. The most important thing is when you pour in the salt itself, right, press it in so that it is compact. All right, so if you have any questions, do drop it in the comment. I will try to attend to your questions, okay? And then now let's go back to the live.
Okay, all right. So now, okay, after, in a way, listening to the video, you know that, okay, you need to fill up the salt. And the salt, you remember, you need to compress it. All right, compress it until almost to the rim of your vase, okay? Leave a bit, at least like 1 inch. I mean, if you want 2 inch or 3 inch, doesn't matter, okay? Just a few inches doesn't matter, all right? Just leave a few inches there, okay? Almost to the brim of your rim, the top of it, all right? And then you press it. And then after that, you slowly add water. Slowly add water in. But once you add water, the salt will sink. Okay, once it sinks itself, right, okay, probably you're only left with 3/4 of your whole vase. What you need to do is you add salt again, because you want a high concentrated of sodium chloride. We want a high concentrated sort of like salt water content, okay? So once it sinks, after you add water, you add your salt again until it has firmly reached up to about like 1 or 2 inch from the rim of your vase itself. All of you following? So once it has reached there, okay, now you have to, in a way, prepare 6 coins. Why 6? Symbolically, this is symbolic. I mean, in a way, it's like you accidentally forgotten 6 coins. You put 7 can or not? Can, no problem one. You put 2 coins can or not? Also can, no problem one. Now, the purpose of the coins, remember, the purpose of the coin is to expedite reaction. This is like a catalyst to expedite that chemical reaction between the salt and the water with the air around them. Okay, so you put the metal inside, it will expedite the reaction. So in a way, if you put how many, it doesn't matter. Symbolically, we choose 6 is because 6 is 乾卦. Number 6 is 乾卦, is the strongest metal chi gua or element. And we want to lay it out in a round shape. You see here, this is like my own saltwater cure a few years ago. I used like the same photo. You see here, I put 6 of the coins, okay, in a round shape. Now again, why round shape? Again, symbolically, it represents the shape of metal. In Chinese metaphysics, every element has its shape. So round represents metal. So we put here symbolically in a round circle, 6 metal coins. Now what metal coins? Use your own metal coins or the ancient coins. This is an ancient replica coins, not antique coins. If you have a real antique stuff, please don't put it there, because at the end of the day, okay, the whole coin, chances is it will get totally tarnished, okay, you won't be able to use it, or you won't be able to, in a way, make it as a highly sellable collectible anymore. So don't use your real antique coin. Use a lot outside there, very, very cheap, Taobao anyway, because what we need is we just need metal. That's it. All right. So if you can find these coins, it's the best, okay, because this is metal. Because this one is like, Biji Tima is called what? This is what we call, our coins is made of what? It's not metal, it's a type of metal, but it's not like iron or whatever, okay? So, you know, like this sort of coins, right, the reaction is not as, like, I would say, not as great comparatively to all this metal or thin metal plates, okay? So if you can find these coins, it's the best. But you don't have, just use this, it's fine, okay? So what you need to do is, okay, you have to put the yang side of the coins facing up. So what is the yang side of the coins? Now, coins normally it comes with two sides. One of it is yang, one of it is yin. The yang side is the one with a lot of writings. They write there either like, you know, Singapore lah, or New Zealand lah, or Australia lah, or Malaysia lah, with the writing and the 50 cent lah, or the 20 cent or the 10 cent. The writing part is yang. The same thing as the ancient coins, the writing with the Chinese words, normally it comes with 4 Chinese words. It differs in different dynasty, okay? But the one that comes with the Chinese words is yang. The side that comes with a drawing or whatever, right, okay, that's yin. The side that comes with all like the drawings or whatever scenery or whatever, depending on your country, those is yin. So remember, we have to put the yang side with the writing side, okay, facing up. So we put that like 50 cent, 20 cent, okay, right? If you use 20 cent, use all 20 cent. If you use 50 cent, use all 50 cent. So you, in a way, try to roughly put it in a circle onto the surface of your saltwater cure, okay? Once it has reached its stable level, it means that you don't put first. You have to put all your salt first, put water, and make sure it's not sunking in first, okay? It is stabilized, okay? And then your water needs to rising slightly above the salt itself. You put the metal onto it in a round circle, okay? So if you put in the right formation, you see, okay, there's definitely a reaction that's going on. Now, you see this here, okay? Now, normally, I do not suggest to bury the metal, okay? If you see the metal on the surface, okay, that is like directly on the surface, touches with the water, it expedites the reaction. When it expedites, wherever you have the metal coins, okay, the chances is there you will see more reactions and the formations of a certain formations will form. Can you see? Like here, the metal coins is here. There's like almost like a line, bulkier, coming up. Another metal coin is here, the line is here. Another metal coin is here, the line is here. Another metal coin is here, the line is here. This metal coin is here, the line is there. Except for this one, you see, it is semi, in a way, buried. This one do not form a line. So you see that now. How do you see the forming or whatever, right? Okay, if you see at the end of the day, your saltwater cure grows, okay, but at the same time itself, right, okay, it has a certain crystalline formation. You know, this is like a crystalline formation. You have a certain pattern to it, okay? So if a certain pattern of it, it means good. The chi in that area is not much of a sa-chi, okay? Right, it's good. Right, but let's say if your saltwater cure, later you see examples, turn out it's like all out of shape everywhere. It means that that area purifies a lot of sa-chi or negative chi. So it's a good thing, you know, because it helps you to purify it. It's not as uniform. It's just like, remember this, what Emoto, the professor, Masaru Emoto, okay, the Japanese professor, okay, that do a test on water, okay, and snowflakes itself, where you use water and you put a lot of positive, loving energy, gratitude, and all that to the water, and then after that you see the particle, the crystallized water formation, very beautiful, very information. Then after that, it puts a lot of emotions to another set of water, put in hatred, anger, frustrations, okay, all this into it. And then after that, it in a way sees the particle of the water itself, right? It is very totally out of shape. It doesn't form any specific shape, all right? So therefore, this is the same thing. It means that if your saltwater cure at the end of the day, right, everything turns like green, dirty, everything is like out of shape, it means that it has done a lot of work for you, okay? So when you remove it, give thanks, give gratitudes, okay, and remove and discard it because it has taken on a lot of negative energy. That's why the formations, everything, it becomes so-called what we call ugly formation. But doesn't mean it's bad, right? It means that it is doing its work. All of you understand that? All right. So you see, when you form it correctly, right, you will be able to read from the saltwater formations inside. At the end of the day, that's why the Feng Shui masters is like in the olden days is like they will see right, they give you the homework, this is what you do, and now of course, okay, by the end of the year they will come back and see, okay, your saltwater cure. All right, that's why like for like my Singapore clients and all that, which is like next week I'm going to Singapore, okay, because every year we have annual Feng Shui clients that will come back and do annually because these clients have no time to come for classes, right? They're busy with their work, they're busy with their high management level work and also business that they're doing, right? They just want in the way people like us to go there and just help me to do it, okay, and that's it. All right, so therefore, okay, for people like this, right, every time at the end of the year, we will look at the salt formation and then we will see how it has turned out for us to know, oh, that house itself, probably a lot of sachi. Oh, the house itself, very nice, crystallized formation. At the end of the day, means not so much worry about sachi. Remember, every house has 5 yellow one. Every single house sure got 5 yellow. And this year itself, the 5 yellow is at the west. Every house has, but doesn't mean every house is bad or the 5 yellow is really sachi, you know. It really depends on the environment, external chi as well. Because every house will have a 5 yellow, but doesn't mean that your house 5 yellow is really that aggressive 5 yellow. All right, so that one is you do not know, then you have what we call a 5 yellow marker here, appease it, pacify it, and at the end you know, oh, so nice, it means that this house not much sachi. Okay, you know that you don't have to be in a way so stressful about. But let's say if the whole formation is out of form, later we'll see example, ugly shape or whatever, right? Oh, it means that, oh, a lot of sachi in this house, the saltwater cure has done a lot of work to in a way pacify all this chi. So far, all understand? Okay, all understand or not? Okay, can we install saltwater cure not only for the house but also in the corresponding sector in each room? No. Okay, you don't have to do that. Imagine like your house got 5 rooms and you have like, including your living room, you have like 5 and 6 saltwater cure. Please don't. Okay, and people will think that we are paranoid, right? People will think that Feng Shui now becomes is like a superstitious thing. Please don't. Okay, just do it on a small, a big tai chi enough already. Don't have to do it on a like relatively into like every room itself. Okay. So in a way that is like the whole house, later I will share with you, which other sector, just put a substantial big cure that ensure that it will help you to do the work. So you set up correctly is very important. You do all the small ones, it's like no use one, okay? Because it's like it's not going to really purify the whole entire area. Yes, Nicole? Okay. Can the metal be copper coins? Can. Yeah, but preferably tin coins. As thin as possible. Why? Because it also enhances that reaction. Remember, the coins are only for what? Catalyst. It expedites, it speeds up the oxidation process. You know, it gets rusty, okay? When it becomes rusty, right? There's an oxidation process is going on. It speeds it up. So it's supposed to, in a way, like what we call accelerated speed for that purifying sort of process to happen. All right? So now, okay, so you have understand this, okay, all of you so far, you have understand this. What if, now, fly fall inside, just leave it, okay, let it be. That's why you see all this, I see dirty and all this thing. I remember there was one year, the star, in a way, like, interviewed me about saltwater cure and asked me to send my saltwater cure. I sent, I have a strand of hair, not this one, okay, the previous one. Right, I have a strand of hair there. And then after that, right, they reply to me is like they have readers complaining to the star why they put up such an ugly photo. Why that whatever saltwater cure that I in a way share on my article has a strand of hair inside. All sorts of people around. Yeah, but it's okay, alright? I'm just sharing with you. All sorts of things. You have flies inside lah, your pets will fall inside lah, whatever it is, okay? If you can save, you save. You cannot save, let it be. Okay, let it mummified there, you don't worry. Okay, all right, it won't dissolve one. If your concentrations of salt is in a way high enough, it will just get mummified. That's all. Right? So don't ask me, it's like really, or there are people asking me if like in a way, what if my cat fall inside? I don't know how to answer you. So all of you here, you have 400 over people here. I hope you take this initiative to in a way learn properly how to set up the saltwater cure, understand the principle or the theory or the logic behind it, how does it work, okay? And then from now onwards, please do me a favor. the dog won't lick the saltwater cure one. It's extremely, in a way, like salty. I mean, my dogs won't go and lick it, okay? If your dog wants to lick it, I seriously don't know lah. I mean, you cordon off lor, you put a gate there lor. Do something, okay? Do something, alright? Either you, in a way, like cage the saltwater cure or you cage your dog. Shani Monica, okay? Really one. So I want over 400 over of you. Gary, you don't laugh. I expect you to help me to, in a way, answer all this sort of question. Right? Because all these sort of questions is like when I read it, I feel like, oh, my heart ache, you know. It's like they don't understand. I understand. It's like, no, the way they ask it because they're just concerned, okay? But I don't have the energy to answer all these questions, okay? All right, right, okay? So I just want all of you here now, help me. Please help me whenever you see all these questions, help me to answer it so that I can have my time to do more research to share with you. All right, that is the energy exchange, because all these things has been sponsored to you in a way free, because all this has been sponsored by J Group. So what you need to do for me is, okay, please help me to answer all these sort of questions so that everyone can learn and grow together. All right, thank you everyone for staying tuned throughout the whole entire replay. All right, I hope that you're still there with me, and with that edited, okay, version of the previous year replay itself, I hope that you have a clear understanding of how the saltwater cure works, okay, why we need to put saltwater cure, right, how to set it up properly. It's very important. I know there's still some of you asking as in like, okay, can I use this, can I use that? Now remember, it needs to be a glass vase or jar, all right? Do not use plastic, do not use porcelain, all right? Do not use fiberglass as well, all right? Use pure glass vase, okay? There's a reason to it, because when you do, okay, the glass is from actually the sand, okay, in a way burnt in high intensity, in high heat itself, so that it forms and crystallizes into becoming a glass, right? So therefore, when you actually set up your saltwater cure with a glass itself, the chances of it working properly, crystallizing itself, will be higher as comparatively to plastic, right? Because plastic does not really burn at as high intensity as glass, okay, right, when in the process of making. And porcelain also definitely not, okay, because the formations of the crystallized particles inside, okay, the porcelain itself is not advisable to be set up as a saltwater cure. And I know there's some of you also concerned about, like, what if the saltwater cure, in a way, like, can I put it underneath my bed? All right, so remember, okay, if you can put it anywhere within that segment or that section itself in an open area, that's the best. Because do not hide it inside a cabinet, do not hide it underneath the bed, because by doing so itself, you are minimizing the potential of the interactions of that cure. Because we want that cure to be exposed to the energy or the air, okay, to the qi around that area. Because of the qi itself has a potential or high possibilities out of the 5 yellow qi or the aggressive qi, we want it to neutralize it. So if you put it in a cabinet or underneath your bed itself, you are minimizing that potential of neutralizing that aggressive, okay, or negative qi of the area. That's the reason why we do not want to put it inside the cabinet or underneath the bed, right? Besides the bed, I mean, it's totally fine because it's good for you, okay? This is like, just like people putting the Himalayan rock salt lamp, all right? So it's good because the ionizations and the purifications of the environment itself is in a way helpful for you in terms of your sleep as well. And of course, people are asking, can the coins be used again? Of course, you can reuse the coins, provided that it does not totally, in a way, get eroded or rusted, right? Because it depends, right? Sometimes, if that year itself, if the qi or the sa qi is aggressive, if your house itself, okay, has a very strong sa qi, and this saltwater cure will have a lot of interactions that in a way will lead to the saltwater cure looking like, how to say, very messed up, very dirty. We do have, okay, some of those photos, okay, which I'll show it to you later on, right? Some of you who have just removed your saltwater cure for last year, okay, right, a few days ago, and share the photo with me. You see, some of it, like, in a way, becomes like very, very dirty, very ugly formation. Now, this is good because it's just telling you that it has done a lot of work. okay, for you. So there's someone also asked me earlier on of the session and says that like the saltwater cure suddenly by November last year, okay, had a lot of interactions, okay, and then after that it becomes have like a lot of formations coming out, okay, and you are not sure what is it. Now remember, those of you who follow, I already mentioned that this year 2025 is an aggressive year. If you follow my Feng Shui annual astrology talk, you know I've talked about it, and you know that this year the year of the snake has unofficially came in. The Qi has unofficially came in since last year November, where the snake is awakened, okay, right in November itself. So by November itself, the aggressive energy of this serpent year or the wood snake year has already made its entrance. That's why some of you might find that, okay, towards the end of last year, November onwards, how come the saltwater cure becomes like more intensified, okay, right, and has like more reactions? Because the year of the snake, okay, the energy of the snake, the chaos energy of the snake itself has already made its presence. All right, so therefore, okay, any more questions that I need to, in a way, pay attention to? All right, so remember, by setting up, as I mentioned, fiberglass, okay, it's not advisable. I've mentioned this earlier on. You need to use a pure glass vase or jar, all right? And make sure that the openings of your vase is big enough, because you see, that is the part where most of the interactions or neutralizations is going to take place. All right, so then if you want to put it next to your stove, depending on this year's location, it can be next to your bed, it can be next to your toilet, it can be next to your stove, it is totally fine. There's no issue with it. All right, I know some of you probably says that, but it's like a big jar of water. It's not a big jar of water. This is not water, this is salt water. Plus, majority of its, contents are still in salt form. Okay, you only have like a bit of water at the surface of it. So there's no issue even if you have to put it or place it next to your stove. All right, so if there's not much questions, okay, let me just share with you, okay, some of you who attended my annual talk already gotten the dates, all right, but those of you who have not joined my annual talk, okay, this is the date, okay, for 2025, all right, so, oh, you start with this first, all right, so, okay, so now, on the 21st of January, now these are the only dates, okay, that I have for you. Please don't ask me for any other dates, okay, because I do not have it, right? Because I don't have the time to look for you. These are the dates I have actually chosen for my clients and for myself to use, right? If you need another date, okay, you have to know how to choose it yourself, right? So the best date, there are two dates, okay, this is the best date with a star here. It is on the 21st of January, okay, on that morning, the best timing to use is 7:30 a.m. Best time. If not, you can't make 7:30 a.m., use 9:30 a.m. All right, on the 21st of January. Now, this year, okay, we only put one saltwater cure, okay, because the star 2 or the 2 black star, in other words, people term to call it the illness star or the sickness star, is at the center of the quadrant. So we do not need to put a saltwater cure at the center of our house itself. We just need to pay attention to the 5 yellow, which is at the northeast 2 location. So I want everyone to place a saltwater cure at the northeast 2 location that's between 37.5 degree to 52.5 degree. The middle point, the midpoint is 45 degree. Now on that day itself, it clashes monkey, but doesn't mean those of you born in the year of the monkey, you cannot use it. Still can deploy your saltwater cure. The only thing is be extra careful, okay, because that day clashes you. It's an auspicious day, just in case that, okay, you might accidentally, in a way, drop the vase or whatever, break the glass, and you might get yourself hurt, okay. So as long as you are extra careful, no issues. So what you need to do is you need to find where exactly is your northeast 2 location of your home. So how do you exactly find this location? Okay, so you just need your floor plan, or you stand at the center of your home like this. Let me just bring it out so that all of you know, okay, how to get this right. Okay, so let's say, for instance, it's a floor plan. Stand somewhere at the center, okay, of the house itself. Okay, so stand somewhere at the center. Only internal. Your external garden, car porch and all that is not counted. Only the internal after your main door and quadrant off with all 4 sides of walls. Okay? Stand at the center of your house. take out your compass, and nowadays all phones are equipped with compass, okay? Take it out, make sure that it is water level matched, the cross here is matching, okay? And you turn towards until you find the 45-degree central mark point, okay? So you know that it is between these two directions, okay? It's like here, all right? But the center part is actually the 45-degree. So you turn until 45-degree, all right, and you stop there, and looking ahead of you, that is your northeast 2. So when I remove the compass and you take a look at the floor plan, okay, so example, if I'm here, if I'm pointing northeast 2 is here, means that towards this direction, go towards the end, okay, go towards the end of this direction. So let's say, for instance, if you can put the bedside here, if you can push the bed a bit, put on the side of the bed, that will be great, okay? Make sure that you put onto that location. Now, if you can't put it in the room, then you make sure you put it here at the side of your dining table. All right, so put it at the northeast 2 location. Make sure that it's open and exposed, okay, so that it can do its work by neutralizing all the energy, okay, or the negative energy of that particular place. All right, so once you've understand this, then take a look at the second date. Right, there are two options of date, okay, for you to choose for year 2025 saltwater cure, right? So either you can use a 21st January. This is the best date. I repeat, this is the best date with the timing 7:30 as the best timing. Second option will be 9:30. Place it at your 45-degree northeast 2. Now, in case you can't make this date, the other option for you will be the 28th of January, okay? This is a rooster day, Tuesday, right? The best timing is 1:30 a.m., midnight of 28 January, all right, before it even gets to sunrise, all right? So 1:30 past midnight, okay, 28 January, put your saltwater cure. Now, if you can't use the midnight, then use a 9:30 a.m. as your option 2. Same thing, 45-degree northeast 2. Now, I repeat again in case some of you do not get it, okay? So you bring back out your floor plan, all right? All you need to do is find the center of your home. Example, this house itself, roughly, okay, it will be around here. So what you need to do is you stand around here, take out your compass, right? And once you have taken out your compass, you turn yourself following the compass, making sure that the water level, okay, is level. The cross here are all interlaying on each other exactly. And turn until you find 45-degree. You're facing to 45-degree. So whenever you're facing that particular direction ahead of you is your northeast 2. All right, so all you need to do is walk towards the end, okay, towards the end of your house itself, all right, to place that particular saltwater cure. Example, if you're here and you find that the northeast 2 is here, you walk all the way towards the end and you can place it here or here outside at the living room. Now, what if only for some reasons, maybe some of you, okay, if you stand here and measure, maybe your northeast 2, you can remove the 24 mountain rings, okay? What if your northeast 2 so happen to be in this direction? All right, so if your northeast 2 so happen in this direction, go towards your kitchen. You can place your saltwater cure either on this countertop. It means that put it on top of your kitchen cabinet. All right, if it's possible. If not, then put it here on the floor, right in front of your kitchen cabinet. Do not put it inside the cabinet itself, okay? Because the reason is we do not want it to cover. We want it to have an open, exposed interactions with the energy surrounding it as much as possible. All good? All right. So Yoda is clashing with rabbit instead of monkey. Yes. Okay. So I guess maybe inside there is a mistake. All right, Julie, you are correct. So on the 28th, which is a rooster day, it is clashing with rabbit. It's not clashing with the monkey. Okay, so I'll bring back, okay, the slides again. There is a minor, the mistake over here. Okay, so you see 28th of January, which is a rooster day, it clashes with rabbit. It's not monkey. Okay, this is a mistake made by the monkey. All right. Right, so okay, yeah, those of you know lah. Right? So therefore, okay, remember on that day, but rabbits, you can still use the date, right? You can still use the date, all right? Just be extra careful when you are using it, all right? So then, all right, so here I'm going to share with you Now, I didn't put the names because there are many of you who shared with us, okay, your saltwater cure for 2024. Okay, after you removed it, okay, you share this on my Facebook comment. All right, so thank you for that. And you can see now some of the saltwater cure example like this is very clean and beautiful. As you can see here, it means that, okay, if you see clean and beautiful, even though this one you have a bit of green, but you can see the formation of the saltwater cure is very even, all right? It's all even out like this, all right? So that is a good sign. It means that, okay, it is doing its purification, it is doing its work, but that energy surrounding that area, that house itself, do not have much Sa-Chi. Now remember, every year, every home has a 5 yellow. Every home has. But doesn't mean every home 5 yellow is aggressive and a Sa-Chi. It also depends on external. But every one of us, since we do not know whether that year our home Sa-Chi is strong or weak, depending on external formation or whatsoever, we just in no way erect or in no way install a saltwater cure for safety purposes. Just in case, right? Just we put it there. Then at the end of the year, we realize that, oh, it's actually pretty clean, all right? So you see the formation is very even, very beautiful. Sometimes it crystallizes until very beautifully. Now, as compared to example, if it turns out like this, or like this, okay? Or it actually turns out like even like this itself, okay? So when you have such a formation, it means that, okay, these are like, how to say, very irregular. Now, this is very smooth, okay? You can see that this is like skiing at your Hokkaido slope, okay? Right? Where else the rest of all these things is like, oh my God, okay? It's getting very jagged and very dirty up. Now, it means that it has done a lot of work. And sometimes you will see also the water becomes very murky, like very, very, how to say, very tarnished, and also a lot of like either green or brownish, okay, colors to it. Now, it means that the saltwater cure have worked hard into purifying the energy in that area for you, all right? So at the end of the day, when you see all these things happening, okay, it means that, okay, it tells you how much work it has done for you to purify, okay, that area. So remember, setting it up correctly is very, very important. Because if you set up a saltwater cure and you do not set it up correctly, too much water, too little salt, okay, like not using the right material, okay, or vase, if you do not set it up correctly, or you put underneath your bed, or you put it inside the cabinet and enclose it, right, you wasted the saltwater cure because it can't do much for you. All right, so I hope today's sessions itself, it helps you to at least has a deeper understanding into what saltwater cure is, why I choose this. Now, I know some of you ask is like, oh, should I just put a saltwater cure or put like the metal plate of like the dumbbells and all that? I mean, if you ask me, okay, for like, I would say, how to say, fear of missing out, for more purposes, place both. Okay, if you ask me, I have to choose one only, I will personally choose saltwater cure, as I have in a way explained in the beginning of the replay sessions, okay, or on tonight's live. But if you can place both, why not? Put a saltwater cure there and put a few of your dumbbell metal bar there, okay, right? That is for a formal case. But let's say if you ask me and you want me to choose only one, always saltwater cure, okay? So therefore, I hope that those of you, if you have not tried it, do try it this year, especially this year, because this year the center is a 2 black star, which is often associated as accumulations of things or illnesses, all right? And then of course it enhances, okay, the 5 yellow because it's the same earth element. So therefore, this year the 5 yellow or the 2 black is, I would say, more aggressive, but it explains into the outlook of the year. Those of you attended my Feng Shui annual astrology talk, you know about it. All right, so therefore this year, highly recommended for you to set up your saltwater cure. Okay, any more questions? Okay, is there, if there is electrical items at the area, saltwater will damage the equipment, okay, TV. Now, don't put too near to your TV, all right? Don't put too near to it, all right? Just put, in a way, have a safe distance. Now, if you are, as long as you're not touching it directly, okay, it will be fine. But let's say, for instance, okay, if you can, make sure that you wipe your TV and your speakers, okay, every now and then. Because why it will damage it is because this salt water, it will interact, okay, with the environment. It will create more crystallized salt. And it will in no way interact in the air. So the chances is you will slowly see is that the salt will grow on the side of your speaker or even at the side of your TV, all right? And over time, if you do not clean this, all right, when it starts growing, of course, the salt will now eat into the metal, okay, or the whatever elements that your speaker or your TV is made of, and eventually it will spoil it. But if you can occasionally, every time wipe it, okay, or you do have a helper at home, or like anyone at home, say every now and then you go and wipe the TV and the speaker, no issues. You can still place it there next to it. As long as it's not touching it, it will be fine. Right, so this year only one saltwater cure, only put at your northeast 2 location. All right, you do not have to put it at the center of your house. Can I put inside the grilled door and outside the wooden door? Outside the wooden door, grilled door. But if your wooden door is always closing, okay, all right, closing with the saltwater cure outside, then it is not recommended, because you want it to be inside your house, okay? There's no point purifying just outside chi, but you want it to be purifying the inside chi. All right, Jessie, when can I remove my old saltwater cure? All right, on 21st, you can remove on 21st, okay? I already shared this timing on my Facebook. Go and look for it. If you can't, I mean, if you've missed the previous dates and you want to set up the saltwater cure on 21st and you want to reuse, okay, your vase itself, okay, then you can just, in a way, remove on any of the dates that I shared during my Feng Shui annual astrology talk itself of your, in a way, house cleansing or spring cleaning dates. Okay, you can use any of those dates to remove your saltwater cure as well. All right, okay, any more? If northeast is a toilet, just put it in your toilet. All right, just put it in your toilet, all right, and allow it to be there, right? And I assume that nowadays a lot of like houses and all that, okay, like the toilet door, sometimes you leave it open, right? You leave it because your toilet is clean enough, okay? You leave it open, so when the saltwater cure is inside, it can still, in a way, ventilate around the area. But let's say if your toilet is constantly having its door closed, then you just place it just, in a way, slightly outside of the toilet, okay? Because you want the important area energy or chi to be purified, okay, not only the toilet itself. All right, is this for the whole year? Yes, this is for the whole year. So once you have put it up, you will wait for the entire year until end of next year. Then I will share with you when is the auspicious date to remove it, and I will share with you, hopefully, fingers crossed, okay, the new dates, okay, for the following year. All right. So, yeah, what if northeast is my bedroom? No issues with bedroom. Just put it in your bedroom, even better. This year, our northeast is also our bedroom. So we just place it in the bedroom. You purify the energy, okay? It will be better for us. All right, so, yeah, no issues even though northeast is your bedroom. You can still put your saltwater cure there. All right, so any more questions? Leona, I have a plastic surrounding it without touching the glass can, okay? Yeah, I mean, if you want to protect the glass, you have a cylinder plastic shape, okay? In a way, not over the glass, okay? Surrounding, means that it's a cylinder surrounding the glass, okay, but not over the glass, okay? It means that you do not put your saltwater cure there and you cover it, especially the top. So you're covering the side in case you're afraid that your cats might go and like, in a way, like go near to the saltwater cure, or your dogs or whatever pets you have, you can cover with a cylinder plastic, but not the top. All right, yeah, okay, starting at that time. If I give you a 7:30, then you can, in a way, start setting up by 7:30. All right, it might take you some time to set up, okay, because I've gone through the step by step. You have to slowly put the salt in. You have to slowly ensure that the salt is compact, and you have to slowly add your water. If not enough salt, you have to add salt again, and you have to place your coin. That one you can take your time, as long as you start at the time given to you. All right, so now, okay, can I put a tray under the salt? Of course, all of you will be recommended, must put a tray, metal tray preferably, underneath your saltwater cure, because if not, this salt, okay, will start to grow out from the vase itself, okay, and it will start to drip, okay, onto your floor. So if you have a parquet floor, or you have any tilings or marble floors and all that, it will tarnish it over a year's time. Right, so make sure that you have a round metal stainless steel tray, okay, right, thick enough to make sure that you support the saltwater cure. If can, put another, I would say, carpet just right underneath to ensure that if it happens to grow out of it, okay, it will not, in a way, like how to say, tarnish, okay, or impact, affect your flooring, okay, that is important. All right, so any more? Okay, so in a way, I should put the saltwater cure in Northeast 2 of the bedroom C's Northeast. Yeah, okay. Just put the saltwater cure at the Northeast 2 location. All right. So thank you so much, okay. Must be metal-based. I place plastic tray also can, okay. But if you put plastic tray, just have to remember, all right. So whenever you carry it, it can be very heavy. You might break it. Now, why the purpose is like if you can find a metal base, that will be the best, because metal purifies, or in a way is also a remedy to minimize the impact of the 5 yellow, okay, because it weakens the 5 yellow. So therefore, if I can choose a metal tray, I will choose a metal tray as a priority. All right. Okay, so if the whole entire Northeast is missing, then you can skip, okay, this saltwater cure. Yeah, you can, if the really whole entire is missing. If only partially missing, then you still need to put it, okay. I would suggest you to put it as well. All right, so the color of the carpet, I wouldn't say any preference. If you ask me, it's white, because it's color of metal. All right, so I will not suggest red color, because you do not want to put red at the 5 yellow. But again, color only in a way plays a very, very small significance, okay? The saltwater cure itself is more practical. All right, so thank you so much, okay, those of you. But in case, all right, if you have not, all right, if you have not in a way heard about the Power Up 2025, which is happening the following week itself, okay, you can still join us, all right, happening on the 25th to 27th of January, replay available, right? There are, if I'm not mistaken, 200 plus or about 300 people have signed up for this, okay? So if you want to join us, okay, on Power Up, that talks about the whole entire year, every month's outlook, okay, based on the I Ching, the overall outlook of this year and the upcoming years, okay, how to see the economy and how to see, in a way, predict, okay, the ups and downs of the energy of this coming few years itself, okay. This is the masterclass or the workshop for you, right? If you have joined this, okay, right, I will see you very, very soon, okay. If not, there will be another workshop that is the dynamic Feng Shui. Now, dynamic Feng Shui here talks about all practical Feng Shui, 7-star robbery. We talked about land form of Feng Shui. Many of you have signed up. I've launched this since last year, and I've in no way relaunched it again during my annual talk. But in case you missed this, this is happening on the 15th of March up to the 17th of March. Okay, this is a prize. You can scan on the QR code, or you can also click onto the link in the comment to join us and sign up for this particular workshop itself. All right, so thank you so much, okay, to all of you. I know that tonight's sessions is like a bit long, okay. Thank you for staying tuned with us. Again, those of you, if you have not helped us to like and share this session out, please help us to share this session out so that it can reach out to more people. Okay, again, of course, heartfelt thanks to J Group, okay, Building Dreams Together, Jennifer Yap, for always sponsoring all this Facebook Live so that we can give you the content for free, as they paid us for the work that we put in. All right, so thank you so much to all of you. Okay, replay will be available of this whole entire sessions of Facebook Live. Okay, do tune in and remember to share it to your friends and family. 2025, you really need to use this remedy, all right, because this is not going to be a very easy year. All right, so you can see the year has barely even started, okay, because it officially starts on the 3rd of February, and you can see news, okay, of like many things, okay, coming in left, right, center. All right, so therefore, right, I highly recommend you, okay, to actually, in a way, set up the saltwater cure on those dates itself before the official arrival of the wood snake on February 3rd. All right, thank you so much, all of you. Right, have a great evening ahead. Bye-bye. Good night.